let's take a look at the launch box for Warhammer Age of Sigmar 3rd edition Dominion. Hello and welcome to yet another video here on the YouTube channel STF Wargaming Studio. My name is Andres the Norwegian Viking and this is my unboxing and review of Age of Sigmar Dominion, the launch box for 3rd edition. So we kindly got a review copy from Midgard Games, one of our wonderful partners who has a collecting point here at the gaming menu we have here in Oslo, and it is a big, huge, heavy box with loads of contents inside. So I can't wait to get to grips with the contents on that and see the wonderful detail on the miniatures and what we can expect from it. It should launch this weekend, and this video should be up during that weekend. Knock on wood, hopefully. But yeah, if you have been wondering what we have been doing at STF during the past eight months and what's going on, please watch the video we put up one of the earlier days, which explains kind of the situation, what's going on, and what we aim to do in the future. So have a look at that. But for now, let's get to grips with what's inside this huge box. And yeah, let's have a look at that under the close cam now. So welcome to this unboxing of Age of Sigmar 3rd edition, the Dominion launch kit, which we have kindly received a review copy of from Midgard Games, one of our partners here at the studio. And yeah, it's a nifty box, a really nifty box. So let's just get this shrink wrap out of the way. Let's get that plastic off. And it is a nice shiny heavy stock box with some lovely artwork. So as you can see, the Stormcast Eternals and the Kruleboyz are prominently featured on a bit of a protective sheet, which also functions as a poster. Sadly, these always get damaged, but yeah, that's kind of life. It's chock full of sprues. Who would have thunk it? And we'll take a look at those later on. So huge bunch of sprues, more sprues, more sprues. Ooh, can't wait to see Indruster, one of the Stormcast Eternal miniatures. Underneath this we have some war scrolls, big pile of stuff, and we have the full artwork hardcover rulebook, still in shrink wrap. We'll take a bit of that later. And underneath here we have some bases, which is usual, more bases. Great stuff. All right, let's get this box out of the way. So there's been much fanfare about this this launch kit. It has, as I can see, really cool miniatures inside. So we have a start here booklet, War at the Amberstone Watch, with a bit of a story. About the different Stormcast Eternals, as well as the Kruleboyz. So it's basically an introduction to the universe of this particular box set and the participants. We have the war scrolls. So we have the Killer Boss, Swamp Caller Shaman, Killer Boss on Great Gnashtooth, Merknob, Gut Rippers, the Hobgrot Slitters, Man-Skewed Bolt Boys, the Kruleboyz in general with their alliance abilities and stuff like that. We have Indruster, Lord Impertinent, Knight Arcanum, the Knight Vexillor, Vindicators, Praetors, Annihilators, and of course the Allegiance abilities and pitch battle profiles for the contents of this box. And the assembly instructions as well, which is really nifty, because these are, although I do believe these are push fit miniatures that can be used without glue, they are quite technically made to be assembled in particular ways. So yeah, and as you can see, this is a new feature on some of the boxes. I think it was first introduced in the Warcry Catacombs box, where you basically put the size base on top, and you can see which size base it is, which is handy because they've released some new base sizes for bunches of the games, including 28mm bases. So those at a glance can look similar to 28 and 32mm. So yeah, it's good to have a sort of a outline on what the bases really are. But before we get into the miniatures, let's have a quick look at the rulebook. So getting that out of the wonderful plastic, and that new book smell. Oh yeah. A wonderful piece of artwork on the front cover. And we have really nice spreads of artwork going on through the entire book. Narrative play, that's good. Open play, the core rules, and loads of information about the different factions. Quality book. It looks at first glance, and I'm really impressed by the amount of work that goes into producing a rule book, especially a rule book for a game such as this with a bunch of lore that needs to be at least represented for giving a complete outline of the universe, as it were. This is really cool. Nice piece of artwork there. So can't wait to read that in full. But now we'll take a look at the miniatures. So I've set up another camera where I can hopefully provide you with some details. So the bases are not that important really. They're plain plastic. So what shall we have a look at first? Let's go with the Kruleboyz. So if we can get yeah, there we go. So we do have a sprue of the specialists and the characters. I believe this is. So we have the character on the Gnashtooth, the kill boss, and it has some very nice detailing on it. It has so many small minute details, and yeah, the miniature itself got some the pictures got some critique because it looked like the torso of the kill boss was a bit too big for the Gnashtooth beast itself, which you can see here, where the legs are kind of folded in. But yeah, it actually looks like that was a trick of the photography and not the actual miniature itself, because it does actually look very good scale, as I can see here. I have to assemble it to be sure, but yeah, the detailing looks absolutely stunning. If I do have the time, I don't know if I do, I'll assemble all the models and get some shots in and narrate that for the video, but I can't promise that because my time is finite. But I'm really intrigued by the Kruleboyz. because they do pull on some old world aesthetics, if that makes sense. It does pull on some of the aesthetics from not just Warhammer Fantasy battles, but also the Warhammer Fantasy battles before, like even before 4th edition, like the old 3rd edition and beyond miniatures. So yeah, some nice looking weapons. I'm really intrigued by the banner with the large tongue that's coming off here. I think the tongue is somewhere else on the sprue. But yeah, it does look chock full of detail, and yeah, I can't wait to get them assembled and hopefully some paint on them at some point. Okay, so that's the characters for the Kruleboyz. Let's have a look at some of the actual miniatures. So this seems to be some of the hobgobblers, and those I think are very interesting. I don't think they're the prettiest miniatures ever made. They do have some weird aesthetics, but what I do appreciate, to be sure, is the way they pull on inspiration from like the old style hobgoblins and chaos dwarves released way back in 4th edition, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Those were great. Those were absolutely great, and I think there's a lot of cool stuff that can be pulled from these miniatures. Not too sure about the official paint job GW did for these guys. I'm not overly convinced about the beige, the weird skin tones on them, so I might paint them differently myself. But they do have a very, very cool aesthetic, very unique look, and you might like them, you might hate them. I think they're weird, to be sure, but yeah, it is what it is, and I'll have to reserve my final judgment of these guys after I've assembled and painted them. But I do think they look unique, and that's what they were going for, I guess. So you get a sprue of those. You also get well, you get 2 sprues of those. So you get loads of these guys, and then am I missing some stuff? No, I'm not. There they are. And then you got the 2 more sprues. So I'll click this off because that's part of the Stormcast side. So you got the orcs. So a very swampy, cool feel to these guys, and I absolutely love the shields. The shields is what makes this miniatures pop, I think. Painted, at least in the stock footage GW used in bright red, the evil sun, the really cool aesthetic harkening back to old school editions. But yeah, they do have that swamp feel, very brute looking orcs. They look lithe. They don't have that exaggerated muscles, chest musculature and back musculature that the particularly the 40k orcs have. But what I do really like is, if we can get a shot at that, is that the face of the miniature and the shield of the miniature does seem to line up. The facial expressions, and there's one guy with an eye patch. Yeah, so I can't see his face here, but there's one guy with, there we go. There's one guy with an eye patch, And the shield has an eye patch as well, which is really, really cool. So yeah, I really, really like these guys. I think these guys are great. Can't wait to paint them. And finally, for the Kruleboyz, we have what looks like a couple of hangers on the pot grot over here. Let's see, there we go. So the grot in the pot, as well as the shaman. That nice skull, really, really nice skull, with some potions hanging out from it, and the face over here as well. There we go. Some really, really cool stuff in there. Nice aesthetics. Okay, so that was the Kruleboyz side. Let's see if we can have a look at the Stormcasts. So we got the characters here. So let's take a look at the actual sprues. So we do have, well, there's one more Kruleboyz I forgot. There's the foot version of the kill boss. Really nice base with a Stormcast on it. I myself am not too keen on putting other army stuff on bases, because I might face off against other participants. But it is a nice touch. It is a really nice touch. So it looks like he has his grot as well, the blade grot, I believe it's called. But yeah, really nice sprues. Okay, so now we go to the Stormcast. So we have the new style, more lithe guys, the Vindicators. So it seems to be 2 sprues of those. So one can be assembled with or without a banner, it seems. So we have a banner on each sprue. 2 sprues are identical. So you got a bunch of guys, and looks to be multiple heads. So you could assemble them with or without a faceplate, it does seem. So most of the guys have the option to do a bare head and a non-bare head. But I think these guys look a bit less stoic, more agile than the normal Stormcast released earlier. I do like the shields. It's got some sounds and constructions outside, but never mind that. So yeah, it is a very nice unit. I'm personally, Stormcast are not my cup of tea. They look to be an army that can be assembled and painted fairly quickly, being a bunch of golds and some other colours. But yeah, it's not the army I would collect for Age of Sigmar. My army for Age of Sigmar is mostly death. I have a huge death army. So the last edition was great for me with the Night Haunt. But this looks good. This looks very nice sprue. With loads of dynamic miniatures going on, not just the stoic type Stormcast we've seen earlier. Going on to the next sprue, which seems to be the Praetors. Yep, Praetors. Which also has that same type of more agile, more not just the stoic. There's one of the poses that's a bit more stoic on them, but they have these nice flowing capes, which really adds to the movement of the miniatures. It also seems that you can assemble these with or without the faceplates. So you got some bare head actions going on. and lovely detail on the armor. Yeah, there we go. Some absolutely stunning detail on the armor. So I think this have to be painted in sub-assemblies to give it justice, really. Okay, so let's get on with the big sprue. So on the big sprue you should have the Annihilators as well as Indruster, and the Vexillor as well. Yeah. So here we have in the shot one of the Annihilators shields, which looks like a huge, fantastic piece of work. The detail on that is really cool. The amount of detail GW gets into their plastics nowadays is stunning. With the writing on it, it looks absolutely cool. So these guys also can have bare heads, it seems. There are multiple heads, but one, is it just one of them that can be assembled without the faceplates? It does seem like it, yeah. But you have some nice hammer action going on. Some really nice cool stuff on that. But yeah, what I really wanted to see is Indruster. Indruster is a really imposing figure on the battlefield. Has loads of details going on. She has these great flowing wings, a nice big tree that she's partially standing on. She looks to be standing on a piece of masonry that's crumbling, but her robe is connected to this this piece of dead swamp type wood. Yeah, she's a really great looking miniature. And is that two different heads? I can see. So her main body is there, and then on the other side of the sprue we have the main body part there. Oh no, here she is. So there she is. Some great face detailing on that. Yeah, it does seem like to be a centerpiece model for this army. Alright, so we got two more sprues going on, and that's the Knight Arcanum and Lord Impertinent. So let's look at the Knight Arcanum first. There we go. Still getting used to this. So she has a bit more of the look from the second edition box, but there's a ton of improvement on those. I think the thickness of the robes is less, like you have less thickness on the robes. Seems to be like a couple of millimeters thick. The old ones were a bit more like chunky, so you can get more flowing effects, and when assembled it also doesn't have that huge piece of fabric that's weirdly there but shouldn't. So yeah, and you get two heads here as well. You get one bare and one with the faceplate. Nice looking staff. This can also be used for other games such as Warhammer Quest. It can be used to represent a miniature in the role-playing game, stuff like that. So it looks really good. And lastly, the main character from the trailer, which was a honker of a trailer. It was really impressive. Is the Knight, the Lord Imperatant. I don't know if I said impertinent. I think I did a couple of times. That's wrong. Sorry about that. But he has a trusty, like small griff as well. Well, what's that called in this one? It's a griff hound. That's the thing. So yeah, lovely robes on this guy as well. It's a bit more chunky, but does have some nice detail on it. And the mantle as well. There we go. The mantle looks absolutely fantastic with the writing on it, and yeah, when assembled, he will look imposing. Really cool. So I can't wait to get some assembly action done on this. Again, I'll try to get these assembled and put up in a picture montage at the end, but I don't know if I will have the time for that. But yeah, this is a nice box. So you get 2 huge armies for the game. Huge bunch of sprues, so you'll have assembly for days. Especially if you're like me, who likes to remove all the mod lines, all the stuff, and get some green stuff action, filling gaps, filing it down again to get stuff done. But yeah, there's a lot of work in this box. So at the time of shooting this video, should be still available, this launch box. They have in like, if you look at Indomitus for 40k, they really didn't produce enough. And that is mostly due to the pandemic, I think. But here they have pushed production to a absolute max to get stuff done. So yeah, I can really appreciate the effort that GW has put into getting what seems to be enough boxes going around. So I can't see this box being available for quite some time after launch as well. So this video should be up on the launch weekend. So if you haven't already, you can check it out. And do check your independent retailer first, because they need your support, especially in these times. And you should probably get it for a lower price than direct from GW as well. So yeah, I can't wait to get into looking at these sprues, assembling them, and possibly getting some paint on them. I do have other projects lined up as well for other games, but yeah, this will be oh yeah, this guy's great. I really like Nurgle. Nurgle is one of my favorite Chaos Gods. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think this is an impressive box. I think this is one of the best, like, I can't say starter sets, because GW doesn't really produce starter sets anymore. They make launch kits, launch sets, and then they produce different boxes with different content, using many of the same miniatures in different variations. And we've seen that with 40k for the past 2 editions, and also for Age of Sigmar 2nd edition, the Nighthaunt Soul Wars box. But yeah, this is a very nice put together box, which can be can have huge armies for you to assemble. Get in touch with a friend. And there we have a double spread of the two participating factions in this box. So you have the Kruleboyz and the Stormcast. So loads of miniatures. I think there's around 16 total for the 2 sides, and should be plenty of you to get to grips with playing this game. So I rate it quite high. I think it's a great way to start. And if you can still get a hold of it, looking at the miniatures, the quality of the miniatures, the number of miniatures, as well as you get the rulebook, it does seem like there's value for money there. that's my 2 cents. Tell me in the comments what you think as well, and if you have already gotten it or if you plan to get it. And if you're local to Norway, do check out Midgard Games. They do really good work and get stuff out to their customers. So yeah, that's it for this review. Please comment, like, share and subscribe, and do consider putting a pledge into our Patreon page using the link in the description below. It is a fantastic way for you to support our channel and what we do here. And if you haven't already, do watch the last video I put up a day or a few days ago regarding the status of the channel, because it's not been easy during the pandemic, but we're trying to get back into it right now. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon in our next video. I've been Andreas, Norwegian Viking, presenting the Launchbox Dominion for Age of Sigmar 3rd edition, and I'll see you in the next video, and support your hobby.